Hey book lovers, welcome back to Book Snack Sat, where every Saturday we're bringing you a brand new bookish-inspired recipe to eat while you are reading your favorite novels. This week we are talking all about The Replacement Crush by Lisa Brown Roberts and making McNerd sugar cookies. Now, if you have not read The Replacement Crush by Lisa Brown Roberts, this is an amazingly funny book about a girl named Vivian who has the unfortunate experience of kissing a boy who turns around and completely ignores her. And in an effort to protect herself, she decides to find a replacement crush to get over this boy. And so she goes through a series of boys that could potentially be her replacement crush, all the while ignoring the one McNerd who could be the one to save her heart. I love this story. It's absolutely hilarious, and we're going to talk more about it. But first, let's jump in to creating our McNerd-inspired cookies. Now, for the cookie part of this recipe, you're going to need 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, a half teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 cup of softened butter, 1½ cups of white sugar, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and 3 to 4 tablespoons of milk, although we may not use all of that. Now, the first thing we need to do is take your flour, your baking soda, and your baking powder and mix those together in a bowl. We're going to set that aside and come back to that momentarily because the next step involves us adding our softened butter and our sugar. So I've gone ahead and put some of our sugar in. We're going to add the rest of it right now. We are going to mix it until it is smooth. Once the sugar and butter is smooth, we're going to add in 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and then we are going to mix in our dry ingredients. Now, make sure as you are stirring your cookie dough together that you do have some milk on hand because you're going to want to add that to keep it nice and soft and not have the powder fly everywhere as you are creating your cookies. So just add it in as needed, about 3 to 4 tablespoons, but you may not use all of that. Now, you can absolutely stir this by hand, but because I have this amazing mixer, I am going to go ahead and use it just like this. Now that your batter is complete, you're going to need a cookie tray, and I am going to recommend to you that you put parchment paper on top of it because that makes for a quick and easy cleanup job at the end. Now you're going to take your batter and you're going to put it into small little balls and fill up your tray. You're going to press down just a little bit, and you can take the extra milk that you have and kind of moisten the tops so that they are ready to go when you are putting them into the oven. And then we're going to chat all about how to create the nerd glasses on top of your cookies. Now, here's a quick pro tip for you. If you don't want to get your hands all doughy, you can use a spoon to kind of scoop it out and put it on your tray, and then you can just arrange it the way you need to. Now, with your oven preheated to 375, you're going to put these in for about 8 to 10 minutes. Make sure you keep your eye on them so that they do not overcook. And then we're going to let them stand for a few minutes, and we're going to start decorating them with our Nerd Glasses icing. Okay, rule number 1 about baking in the kitchen: do not accidentally put your finger directly on the rack in the oven. Caution, it is as hot as a certain McNerd. So while we're waiting, let's chat just a little bit about The Replacement Crush by Lisa Brown Roberts. Now, if you have not read this story, this is one of the funniest things that you could ever read. In fact, all of Lisa's books are absolutely hilarious, and you know I'm not the biggest fan of YA contemporary novels. It's not my go-to genre, but I do like to read it occasionally. I will set down any other book that I am reading in order to read one of Lisa's newest books. I absolutely love it. She transports us to a new world in all of her books, even though it's set right here in our time, in our world. And I love what she does with her characters. Now, here's the deal. Lisa writes the swooniest guys. I cannot even tell you, if you have not read her stories, Playing the Player, The Replacement Crush, the McNerd in this book, you have to check it out because they are so incredibly adorable and they will make you blush. In fact, I think it's her mission in life to make us blush. Sometimes I talk to her about this and I'm pretty sure it's her mission. I highly recommend The Replacement Crush. It is about a girl named Vivian who lives at the ocean, which OMG, she lives at the ocean. I'm jealous already. She kisses a guy who then turns around and totally ignores her when school starts back up, and she's trying to find a replacement crush to heal her broken heart and make sure that this does not happen again to her because she does not want to get played again. And lo and behold, the McNerd stumbles into the picture and ends up working at her mother's shop, and he's in her life constantly. He likes her, she likes him, but they both try to not like each other. And eventually, she is bound and determined to not date this boy, so you know interesting things are going to happen. Totally swoony. I absolutely love it, and I highly recommend it. It's just as sugary as these cookies are going to be, so make sure you check this out. These smell so incredibly good, I can't even tell you. Take a look at those. Ah, that's so good, right? Yes, absolutely. Now, so I'm waiting for these to cool, and as soon as they do cool, we're gonna jump in and we're gonna decorate with nerd glasses. So if you aren't already prepared and you haven't guessed this yet, now is the time to get out your nerd glasses and let's do this right. Now, let's chat a little bit about our icing. To make our icing, we are going to use a medium bowl with your mixer, and we are going to start off with 1 stick of unsalted butter, which you may need to soften for about 15 seconds in your microwave, which you can leave inside of the wrapper. And then you are going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 cups powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon pure vanilla. Now keep in mind that clear is the best so that it does not alter the color of your icing. And then you're going to add in 1 to 3 tablespoons of milk. You're just going to put it in 1 tablespoon at a time until it is smooth because you may not need the entire thing. Now, once you have created your icing, you may want to stick it in the fridge for a few minutes so it gets a little cool. It might be a little easier to work with that way. And then you're going to want to grab a pastry bag so you can put your icing in there and really do some cool detailing within your cookies. Now, pro tip, if you do not have one of these and you do not feel like going out to get one of these, you can actually use a Ziploc bag and cut out the corner and kind of work with it that way. It's definitely harder. It's definitely not going to be your best choice, but if you just want to do it because you feel like doing it, you don't feel like being all professional and fancy about it, a Ziploc bag will work just great. So I'm gonna go ahead, put my icing in my bag, and we are gonna start decorating. Now, reality check. I told you 8 to 10 minutes. My oven took about 15 minutes to cook these cookies, so you wanna go ahead and set that for 8 to 10 minutes on your timer and then monitor it. Make sure it is a nice light golden color. You do not want it overcooked, you do not want it undercooked. And then when they are perfect, go ahead and take them out and let them sit for a few minutes until they are cool before you go ahead and decorate with your icing. While we're waiting for our cookies to cool, let's read the back of the cover. True love can't be strategized. After book blogger Vivian Goldie's longtime crush pretends their secret summer kissing sessions never happened, Vivian creates a list of safe crushes, determined to protect her heart. But nerd hot Dallas, the sweet new guy in town, sends the mission and Vivian's zing meter into chaos. While designing software for the bookstore where she works, Dallas wages a counter mission. Operation Replacement Crush is in full effect, and Dallas is determined to take her heart off the shelf. Now, once you have your icing ready to go, you can go ahead and squeeze it out in the shape of nerd glasses. So we are going for a framed look, kind of like this. They're going to be absolutely adorable on our cookies, and then we are going to enjoy them. So let's get started. Pro tip. This is really hard, so when you're doing it, make sure you keep one hand up at the top to keep it from popping out of the top part of it, and squeeze it down through the edge so that you are getting a nice, easy line of icing coming from the tip of your pastry bag or from your Ziploc. Now, pro tip here. You do not have to decorate these the same way that I am. I'm not a fan of frosting, so I just created the glasses out of my icing here. But you could cover the entire thing and use a secondary color to create your glasses. The key is to have those nerd glasses right there on your cookies, and you can add sprinkles, you can add a face, you can do all sorts of amazing things. Take it and make it your own, and then put it on social media and tag myself and Lisa Brown Roberts so we can see how you are creating your nerd glass cookies. So there you have it, our Nerd Glasses Sugar Cookies inspired by The Replacement Crush by Lisa Brown Roberts. You can get the show notes down below to create this recipe on your own, and I cannot wait to see what you think. Go ahead and tag me on social media at k.m.robinson books on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat, and let me know how your nerd cookies turned out. This is so good. Guys, this is good. Now the good news is you don't just have to stick to nerd glasses for your cookies. You can do anything that represents the series. So think about things that are beachy, like surfboards and waves. Think about things that represent their particular love of a certain fandom. Think about things that represent the cover, like the little heart with arrows on top. Anything that goes with the book cover, with the story, with the characters is going to add so much to your cookies, and I hope you'll take advantage of reading the book and then creating this amazing snack to go with it based on what you are finding within the story. I highly encourage you to jump into this book and start looking for elements that you can use within your cookie decorating to enhance your experience with this book and with this snack. Once you're ready, go ahead and tag us on social media so we can see what you're working on. I'm K.m. Robinson, author of the Jaded Duology and the Golden Trilogy, and I cannot wait to see you next week for another book snack set, where every single Saturday we are bringing you a brand new bookish recipe. And if you have ideas for what book we should feature next, go ahead and hit up my comments below, because I want to hear your ideas. I want to hear what you want to learn a little bit more about. I want to hear what books you want reviewed, and I cannot wait to jump in and create amazing snacks for you. Now, if you've got anything going on food allergy wise, let me know. I'm going to try to work with you guys and do the best I can to create snacks for everybody that is going to bring in all of these amazing books that we can learn a little bit more about. You can hang out with me over at www.k.m.robinsonbooks.com, and you can find me on social media at k.m.robinsonbooks on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, where I am doing all sorts of amazing things, not just Book Snack Saturday, but some really incredible things, including games and quizzes and interviews and live broadcasts and live Ask Me Anythings, and oh, it's just amazing. So come hang out with me, K.M. Robinson Books on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, and I will see you next week for another episode of Book Snack Sat. Have a great day. Stay inspired. You guys, I forgot to put my nerd glasses on for the end of that, so here you go. We matched. Take a picture of yourself in nerd glasses with your nerd cookies and give us a shout out on social media so we can see what you're working on. Hey, if you're bored, you can totally give him more hair. Or a face. These are so good, guys. These are as good as Dallas and Viv. You gotta check it out. Anybody think Dallas has like super swoony hair? I totally think he's got super swoony hair. Look at that. Oh yes.